Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Previously, we finished exploring the crime scene and learned all we could, and then we managed to convince Gina Lestrade to accept Ryunosuke as her defense lawyer in the trial tomorrow. And now, with Herlock Sholmes still comatose, well, nothing else for it but to wait, and it seems we have one last conversation with Susato before she returns to Japan. So, let's see what lies in store, shall we?
Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested. On the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task? What would that be?
It's just 2 months since we arrived in London, but we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm so sorry, Susato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Naruhodo-san.
I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much.
Sorry? I've what?
Oh, no, it was nothing. Unimportant.
Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m.
I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not.
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but...
Every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try.
Fair enough. So what is this final task? You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
Whoa, her book. What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago.
All that entire book is just one case? Wow.
The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The McGilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Windibank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she's had to think about, Susato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself.
Man.
Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room.
Susato-san,
I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night.
Wait, there's something I need to say.
Hiya!
Oh, come on. What was that?
A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown.
Shutdown?
Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Susato-san. This better not be the last we see of her. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of the case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed and I fell into a deep sleep.
Oh, the hospital!
Well, hey now, hello. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Well, look who's up and about. Rest assured I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, is this Susato? On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell and Godspeed. Definitely Susato. My dear madame. What has she arranged? Huh. Well, looks like Susato has given Herlock Sholmes an ace up the sleeve. Interesting. When I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it.
So where's your friend then?
Sorry?
You know, in the fancy dress.
Susato, or however you say it. I don't know. Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up.
You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off.
It's fine. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again one day.
Even so.
But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two.
Hey, it's a kitty.
And also Iris.
How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep?
Meow.
Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy?
Meow.
Oh, Waggy.
Great way to show your support, kitty.
Let him have a nose around. What I'm gonna do. Oh, that reminds me. I brought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo, Ginny?
Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first.
Nah, always take the good news first. Might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities.
Let's not go there.
Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move.
Huh? The bad news was a weather report?
So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to port.
Gosh, yes.
Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon. So even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I couldn't give a monkey's, really.
If only all good news canceled out the bad.
And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder, see? How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want, see if I care.
I can't because you're covering your face.
Don't worry, Runa will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense.
I will?
And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo?
Oh, yes, let's hope so. I appreciate the alliteration.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it?
It's like she was still here. Oh, before we do anything else, let's actually look at this new evidence we found. Case summary of the omnibus murder. Victim found deceased on the last scheduled omnibus of the day after a stab wound to the abdomen. Name Mason Milverton. Huh. Milverton. Occupation brickmaker. Domicile East End of London. Summary. Defendant Magnus McGilded. Prosecution attorney Barak Van Zeeks. Defense attorney Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Conviction was assured with 3 eyewitness testimonies. However, a surprise 4th witness's testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Today's paper.
Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder. How awful. For Ginny, I mean.
Not for Windibank? Okay. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver's Dauntless Do-Gooder, right?
Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger.
Bigger? How?
Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial. Perhaps?
Protects planet?
Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great.
She really is a 10-year-old. Oh. Okay, what's on the back here? Oh.
There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well. Look. Ministry mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice.
Oh. Oh. Well, that's doubtlessly the big kerfuffle that's got the Scotland Yard in a tizzy. Oh boy. For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news.
It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they've been intercepted by hostile nations.
Communications are being intercepted? But how would somebody be doing that?
That's a question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runo?
No, of course not. I wonder, perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday.
Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Gregsy running from pillar to post at the moment.
Uh-huh. Let's see if we can't look at that. Almost looks like real people with a very strong filter over the image. I can actually almost read this. Yeah, Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. I can read this text. But how about the name of this newspaper? What was that? The London News, of course. What else could it be? Kind of funny that this murder of the pawnbroker is a bigger story than the leaked international documents. Oh boy. Communications documents, same thing once you write it down.
Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can.
Huh?
Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement.
I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you.
Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering, is all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up all right? Yes, the operation was a great success. But Hurley still hasn't come around yet.
Oh, she doesn't know.
Huh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up.
I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news.
Oh, all right.
No Susato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then.
Yes, let's go, Gina, Iris.
Lead the way, Runo.
Alrighty. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. Yeah, just that. "10 a.m. sharp. Wouldn't have it any other way." No way! I think I just saw who was juror number 6. Oh, brother. Come on, dude. Alright. This is gonna be interesting. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. Or like Gina Milverton. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zieks. My lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? I'll tell you this much, the fact that the game's bringing that up means it will come up, even if he doesn't say so here. In what might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government.
Really?
Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. Ah, that explains why I wanted to take down McGilded.
He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago.
Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese.
What? Did you really just say that? He means you now, Runo.
I actually managed to work that out too, thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zieks' eyes. Was that directed solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? Don't tell me. Was it Japan that's been intercepting the communications? That'd be bad. An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zieks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Well, I see one new person. Well, two if you count the man on the right, but I am familiar with him. Also, the old man from last time is a doctor? Huh. Well, okay then. Former lieutenant in the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready.
Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think.
Oh, what an appropriate guest.
Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it.
I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible, but could I have? Oh no! Don't let the senile old man be a surgeon. He's a surgeon! No! Wait. Wait! No! No! You don't suppose the person he left an object in was our dear friend Herlock? Oh no. No. Come on. Oh boy, okay.
Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Is something wrong, Runo?
Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact.
Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know.
So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Oh, brother. We haven't even formally begun yet, and oh, I'm done. Look at this mess. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be a trip. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zeeks. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windebank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. That looks, actually... Wow, now that I actually look at it, that looks like a scorch mark around the bullet hole. And I've played enough of these games to know that means the gun was fired from extremely close range. And if so, maybe he was held at gunpoint at some point. Huh. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, whose report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Oh. Oh no. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say.
Oh!
The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Hold on, we need to look at that right now. Let's see. Coroner was Dr. Stevens. Will that be relevant at all? Hopefully not. I don't want to say the coroner is corrupt. Alright, pawnbroker, Baker Street, time of death 1 through 1:30 a.m. Huh. Reporting party was Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Post-mortem findings: single bullet wound in upper half of victim's back, no other visible signs of trauma. Autopsy findings: instant death from a posterior bullet wound to the heart. Bullet entered the body from the back on a gently rising diagonal trajectory. Nothing too new that we can glean. No other visible signs of trauma. Visible trauma. Oh, whoops. I need the photograph too. Yep, that's a bullet hole. Both hands are wide open, so I don't think he was clutching anything in them. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windibank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drabs that lives in the slums on the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girls? We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pickpurse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks. At once, my lord. Oh boy. This isn't just going to be an uphill battle, this will be a vertical wall. Oh boy, this isn't good. Yeah, no shit. Everything makes sense from here. Signs of a single discharge, you say, huh? This is Mr. Windibank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty.
Mr. Windibank always used to keep this gun on hand to his shop counter.
Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand.
That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe.
But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? Well, no telltale marks or blemishes I can see. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to glean here. Looks like a straightforward pistol to me. I do like revolvers. They're cool looking. And they're always really powerful in games.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno.
I think that's because it has. Oh, the cape came off at the start! Let us begin, he says. No, this man clearly thinks it's over before it's even begun. He's cocky. And frankly, I don't blame him, not at all. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windibank on 16th of April of this year. Look at... What the hell are they? What are those designs? You got... Oh my god, okay, I need to get better to look at them. What the hell? Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. It's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is baddie, professional baddie. Okay, so what? Why do we got Mario and Luigi over here? Okay, I already got the voice in mind for the red one, but... Okay, let's see, Wahoo, it's a me, Mario. Yeah, that kind of voice. Yeah, okay. Nash Skulkin. What should I voice to you? It's just me or... I'm just now noticing his buttons on his coat. One is black, the other is white. Hold on, do we have a photo of... No, we do not have a photo of Mason. I'm wondering... I remember one of the buttons on his, one of the buttons on his vest was broken off. I wonder if the color matches. Wait, blood samples, hold on. Okay, well, you can see his little profile there, but... Man. Okay, so... I'm thinking something real light.
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is baddie, professional baddie.
No. That'd be funny at first, but not... No, this trial's gonna last a long time. I can't do the Woodman voice again. I'll figure something out. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's, same as him.
Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right, we're what they call... the Three Skulkin Brothers.
What? 3?
What are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump me in with you lot. Corb blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through?
It's our older bruh. Lost contact with him we have, so we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And then last night we came across you, the very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
He is, Nash, he is. The very spit of him.
So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call ya Big Brub Sulky. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin? That's before he's run out of chips.
Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but my name's Tobias.
What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft.
Thieves, are they, these three?
No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these 2 brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime.
By Jove, you mean to say? What an extraordinary coincidence.
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. He has a little crate. Oh, he's short.
Ordar.
The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to.
'Cause a skulkin's never skulkin'.
Huh? Get out of it. Oh, brother. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff store was ajar, see?
Was like some kind of sign. Begging for us to go in, it was.
But once we got inside, cor blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room.
We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet.
A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot.
The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside. And within, only the victim and the accused were found. Hey, what with how huge that porthole in the top of the door is? Couldn't someone just reach their arm in and lock it? That'd be really easy to do. Not to mention, everything that Prosecutor Van Zeeks and the 2 Skulkin brothers are saying is completely disregarding the fact that Herlock Sholmes was shot and there was a bullet lodged in the wall near the door, like the entrance door. There are a lot of holes to poke here.
I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel?
Yes. What's the matter, Runo? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. We We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff's door was ajar, see?
It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
Well, once we got inside, corp, blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot. Wait, I'm supposed to be pressing.
I was so focused on trying to think of what I should do here. Alright. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours and the gaff's door was ajar, see?
Hold it!
The front door of Windibank's was ajar, you say? What time of night was this?
Must have been about 1, right, Ringo?
Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky?
How would I know?
The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town.
Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo?
No, the light was on. I remember Herlock Sholmes waking Ryunosuke and saying, "Hey, the light in the pawnbrokery down the street has been on for hours now." I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker?
Leave me alone.
There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim.
Objection!
That is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside.
Right, that's what happened.
It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
Hold it!
What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in?
Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo?
They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it?
It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that.
It weren't, Nash, it weren't. Like we said at the time.
It don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's always no two ways about it.
It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
They're not very good liars, are they?
Well, you can't deny it. It led us to a bloke what just looks like our bruv.
I said, cut it out. Those chips are getting a chomping today. But once we got inside, cor blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. Hold it!
A gunshot, you say? Just the one? Are you sure about that?
Yep, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that.
It was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv?
The firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Windibank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter.
Right, I remember.
When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Windibank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded.
That's true. I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
Yes, my lord, we can.
No, we cannot.
And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused.
Wonderful.
We went to
see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
Hold it!
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain this to you. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom.
Of course, there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by.
And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think.
Oh, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo.
Well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you would have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former.
Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night.
Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses.
We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet.
Hold it!
You didn't do or take anything? Is that your story?
Well, it was a bad lamb soon as weren't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets.
What? What?
So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say?
That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers.
We are, Nash, we are. Never been pulled me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So you'd clearly like us to believe... come again?
As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Blimey, Governor!
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway?
It was.
Why, the bleeding Nora. Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to hospital. The great Sholmes, that's beyond the pale.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites His Lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Now, my learned Nipponese friend... Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. but the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Alright, hold on, let me look at it. What a nice gun. So there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 cylinders.
Yes, which tells us that only a single shot has been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we'd walked in through Windibank's door.
I'll make those brothers pay.
Objection!
Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there.
Objection!
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibank's that night. The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop that night? Why, the blood samples. We have a photograph of the calendar with a bullet lodged in it.
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth have you there, counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Oh, come on! This man has received an excuse and now he's dialed it up to 12. The racism, that is. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have evidence the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? Yep.
Take that!
What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes, your lord, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight. But this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbroker's that night.
Nah!
Order? How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? Uh-oh. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Huh? Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup.
We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Sulky, set the bloke straight.
I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he?
Van Zieks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zieks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windbank at all. So that's it.
They missed everything. They missed everything. What? That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Nash, we didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and, let us not forget, attempted murder.
Quite a catalog, eh, fellas?
We're in for it now, bruv. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. That's a bit of Friar Tuck, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulkin'. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin?
Must have been just after 1, right, bruv?
Must have been, Ash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Good lord. It's the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. As the court can clearly see, well, you know what? I think I might just want to end things here. We're going a bit overboard, and I still need to do my say my part here. Interesting witnesses. Just unapologetic bad guys. They are goons. They are hired goons. Top to bottom, they're I was theorizing in prior videos that whatever mastermind was behind this probably hired someone or two to do this for them. I would guess that these brothers are them. Oh, they're just so over the top. I don't even know what to think. So earlier I said that this isn't just an uphill battle, it's straight vertical. No, I think at this point the incline is now bending straight backwards, and we'll have to do our climbing upside down for a bit. Honestly, if early on in the next video, if all 6 jurors just go ahead and vote guilty right then and there, like instantly, first thing, I would not be surprised. Speaking of the jurors, Mr. Number 6, that's the fleeing Russian war criminal, right? Right? From the newspaper in the second case, right? I didn't know he had a little mouse friend. That's interesting. Oh god, I just remembered that Wagahai is on the loose here. Yeah, when Iris first showed up, Wagahai was there in her arms, but he jumped out and ran away. Oh, someone protect that poor mouse. I feel like, mark my words, Wagahai is gonna leap out of nowhere and just gobble up that mouse. Poor thing. I do think mice are cute as pets. Like domesticated mice and rats. They're cute. They got little grabbies. Little grabby hands. Little nose whiskers. Yeah, they're cute. I like them. Oh, Lord. This might be the most challenging fight that lies ahead of us to date. And I'm talking through the entire franchise. I can't quite remember any trial that began this oppressively. Like, my god, we have everything but live footage of the perpetrator doing it. Oh, Gina, what the hell, man? What is the story of you picking up that gun? Why? I can see maybe she picked up the gun to intimidate him and walk them both back into the storeroom. But I don't believe for a second she actually murdered the man. Held him at gunpoint maybe, but not murder him. Well, guess we'll see what happens next time. So, for now, I was gonna say, I think next time I voice those goons, the baddies, I think maybe I'll give, like, pinching my nose shut a try. Real drive up the nasaliness and, maybe get that Luigi feeling going on for the tall one in green. Who knows? I'll see what I can do. Anyway, yeah, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.